videos of the Venezuelan people celebrating the capture of Maduro? They're overwhelming. They are overwhelming. I haven't seen one video of a Venezuelan complaining about the capture of Maduro. Maduro terrorized Venezuela. He terrorized that country. So how does it make sense for the people protesting in New York right now, demanding the release of Maduro and his wife? Is he going back to Venezuela? Huh? Is he going back to Venezuela to torture more people? Like, make this make sense.
Welcome to the Common Sense Philosophy channel. Today's video is Venezuela Freedom or Trump's oil. Venezuela Freedom or Trump's oil. Man, it's all over the news. I know everybody has seen it. Looks like President Trump went in and got the president of Venezuela and his wife and removed them. The reason is supposed to be because they were doing the people there bad. And that's why there's people in the streets that's happy about him being removed. But on the other side, there's people in the United States that are saying that they're very unhappy about what's happened and they don't like that he was removed, and I guess they want him back, and so they're asking for him to let their president go and release him back. I don't know, I haven't heard a Venezuelan person say it, but it's been more about Americans saying they want him back free. I see they're doing a protest in New York about trying to free him, which I don't really understand, but it's interesting. So could this be about oil? Yes, it could be. I don't think anything in life happens without some type of transaction, but the question is it helping the people overall? That's what we're trying to figure out. Is it helping the people overall? So if it is, then that's okay. So be it. They go in there and get him and remove him. But if it's just going to cause a bigger problem, then maybe that's not what should have happened. But I say this, time is going to tell. Let's just keep paying attention. There's more stuff coming out every other minute. So I like to make videos where I give you guys all perspectives so you can kind of see what's going on, or if you're working, you can put it on and just listen to me and get the updates. That's kind of videos I like to make, just to keep you informed, or if you're driving, just put it on and listen to it. But for now, thank you for coming to check out the Common Sense Philosophy channel. Remember, always use your common sense and don't be afraid to philosophize. Also, check out these videos. It's going to be a lot of perspectives, some politics, some just all type of opinions. Check them out, let it ride out, and then give me your opinion in the comment area, because your voice is important too, and it needs to be heard. So remember, leave a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Yep.
What President Donald Trump said of what is happening actually inside of Venezuela. If you go to the main institutions, or if you watch the state television, the one that is running the country, and she says she is running the country, is Delcy Rodriguez, which until yesterday was the Venezuelan vice president. But the Supreme Court, the Venezuelan Supreme Court, issued a ruling yesterday saying that in the absence of Nicolás Maduro, she is the one who should be running the country.
But given that neither she nor the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, have the support of the US, what happens next, do you think?
There is uncertainty, and neither Maria Corina Machado or Edmundo González, which, according to the opposition, won the last presidential election, are inside of Venezuela. At least they haven't announced that. And they say the transition in power is coming, but there are no clear signs of a change in Venezuela.
The Supreme Court in Venezuela is demanding proof of life for Nicolas Maduro, who they are alleging was kidnapped by the U.S. military last night. I know that there's a lot of Venezuelans living in the U.S. that are celebrating what just happened, but I'm going to try to show you through my content what you're not going to see on the mainstream media or maybe on your FYP if you live in the U.S. of how Venezuelans that are living in Venezuela are reacting and responding to what happened last night.
Venezuelans are cheering worldwide, this is why this regime change should have no consequences and should garner no controversy, is wild to me. Yes, because we all know that Maduro was an autocrat, right? But the sitting US president is a wannabe autocrat. He really wants it, and he's doing a pretty good job at trying to get it. Imagine for a second, that say China overthrew the US government overnight, kidnapped the president, and then took him back to Beijing. And then they installed a new leader in DC who they believed would be more favorable in trade ties. You would get people coast to coast cheering because of President Donald Trump's removal. He has the lowest approval rating. The guy is not likable. Would that alone be enough justification for us to be puppeted by a foreign entity? By that logic, we should be fine with it, right? Yes, I understand that millions of people's lives are going to be improved because of the absence of Nicolas Maduro. However, corruption doesn't just go away with the guy. It just changes hands.
And capture the president, like it's been the American plan all along. But Venezuelans are out on the street celebrating because Maduro, which was the president of Venezuela, was a train wreck. And I'm not even going to get into the details of that because it's another video on its own. But the thing is that if history and track record is anything to go by, whatever is to come for Venezuela is many times worse than Maduro ever was. Because let's be honest here, for all those Venezuelans that are celebrating, Trump is not doing this out of the kindness of his heart, is he? There are many countries around the world with complicated politics and even worse presidents, and he's not invading them. He's going to Venezuela because of the oil, isn't he?
Hey, so I'm sure you've heard the news by now, but late last night, the U.S. conducted unauthorized military airstrikes against Venezuela, and honestly, it's just too hard for somebody like me to sit back and not comment on it. So please let's talk about it. Please just give me a moment of your time. By way of background, my name is Jelena and I'm a communicator, and more specifically, I've spent the bulk of my career in foreign policy, national security, and congressional affairs. Things first, while I'm shocked, I'm certainly not surprised at what has transpired, just because the relationship between the US and Venezuela has long been not ideal, long been unfriendly. This is going back decades and across administrations as well. So the State Department suspended operations at our embassy there back in early 2019. So we also haven't had proper diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Venezuela. And I'll also note that the State Department has discouraged Americans in the strongest terms to not visit Venezuela for any reason whatsoever since then. So my shock comes not from really the who, because let's face it, people are not, all of us across the board are not sad to see Maduro go. I mean, he clearly was an illegitimate leader. It really comes from the how, in which, in this case, to me anyway, is really just the principle, and it always boils down, for me anyway, with the principle. The principle in this case is the U.S. Constitution and international law, both of which were violated in this case. So as someone who has taken an oath of office to defend the U.S. Constitution, it's just something I take with me, and I just don't take lightly at all.
This country when I was 10 years old, and ever since I was born, every single person in power of the country has abused us and abused of their power. We have been living in a dictatorship for about 20 years. So I can tell you, this feels like a breath of fresh air.
Did you feel this was the only way to get him out?
100%, yes. He will not leave. He's not the real president of Venezuela. No, it's not an act of war, it's an act of freedom.
Y'all, Trump did not start a war. He enforced the warrant. This man dropped bombs at 2 a.m. He captured the president and his wife at 3 a.m. He had a press conference at Mar-a-Lago at 11 a.m. and he was running Venezuela by 12 p.m. That's what you call a boss, baby. Y'all can say what y'all want, but Donald Trump is really him. If that man do not go down as the greatest president of all times, then something is fucking wrong. That man has officially been in office this month a year.
Donald Trump said that we're going to be running Venezuela. My first thing is, please run the fucking country that you're already in charge of. Like, we have people right now that can't afford food. We have people that are going to be without health care in the next couple of weeks. We have our military men, not just so long ago, having to go to fucking food pantries to get fucking food. But we have money to go to war, right? Does that make any fucking sense to any of y'all? Like, is it clicking? The person who said he was going to be the peacetime president, roll the clip.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. No more wars, no more disruptions. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will have prosperity and peace for all. I am the candidate of peace. I am peace.
I thought the Venezuelan people was going to be so upset that Donald Trump swooped in and what I thought was a kidnapping of their president. Well, y'all, I was highly mistaken, so let me go ahead and give y'all the news that y'all can use. Come on and sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. The Venezuelan people are in the streets dancing. Oh, they having a good time. He gone. He and his wife is gone. They dancing. They celebrating like no other, y'all. In fact, they say Maduro, if I pronounce his name wrong, y'all forgive me, was a horrible dictator. He was not what you would even consider a president. He was a dictator, y'all. Very horrible man and ran the country very horribly. So they're super ecstatic that he's currently on a boat, you know, heading to New York to face criminal charges, y'all. The Venezuelan people couldn't be more excited about this. Here we are thinking, you know, that they was going to possibly try to retaliate back against the United States for putting this into place. But in fact, they were saying that it was going to happen. They just wanted to know when it was going to be able to happen. Was it going to be legal for the United States to actually go over and bomb and bring him back? And obviously it was, because he's currently on a boat heading to New York to face criminal charges.
Last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
News here at the White House. President Trump posting this photo. Take a look. That appears to be Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro after being captured by U.S. forces actively aboard the USS Iwo Jima. Now, this picture was posted by Trump and the White House, and we see what appears to be Maduro in a gray Nike sweatsuit with a water bottle in his hands and what looks like very dark glasses or a blindfold over his eyes and headphones over his ears. Now, Maduro appears to be buckled into the ship, and right now, Maduro is en route to New York, where he faces charges of conspiracy to import drugs, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and a narco-terrorism conspiracy charge. Now, Trump says he will face trial on U.S. soil. MS Now has not been able to independently verify the legitimacy of this photo, but this is the only photo posted by Trump in the White House of Maduro since his capturing overnight. Trump just wrapped a press conference where he said, for now, in the absence of Maduro, the United States will run Venezuela.